What's up everyone, I'm Idiot, and today I'm going to be talking about some lines from my project Paradise. I should preface this by saying I'm a cynic. Commitments, common pleasantries are things I rarely finish. I'm probably disillusioned because I don't have many friends, and when I think of what they're doing, I'm projecting in my head. I really wanted to establish the mindset I had going into this project. I was in a very dark place, I saw the world in a very cynical light, and I think it's important to take that into account when you listen to this project, because a lot of the things I say see the world in that pessimistic view, and I don't necessarily stand by them even already. I'll want you half the time, who's on the other line? Ain't nobody but my own reflection, maybe you could be my new obsession. I tend to fixate on things, whether that's like people or just like some project I'm working on, and so if I start to feel some kind of way about a person, they're just on my mind constantly and I'm always thinking about them. It's like an obsession, and sometimes that clashes with my other obsession, which is working on creative projects, and I'll sink myself into that and just lock out everything else. Oh, I'm a sucker for a girl that's proper, and I'm a sucker for a girl without a father. I say it like I've got a code of conduct, but I'm a sucker for a girl that takes her clothes off. You know what I'm saying. Show me how, show me why, show me who to see. A father figure isn't what a lover's supposed to be. So often I see that people around me, or even myself, who had things that they were missing from their childhood when they were growing up, trying to find those things in romantic partners. You know, maybe it's something a parent didn't do, maybe it's some kind of support you never had, but we end up putting so much pressure on our romantic interests to fill those holes that really, like, it's a lot to expect them to do that. But so often we use romance as an escape. It's like this magical thing almost, the way we view it. If you die as you live, then I'll die in my bed. You're only as strong as you are in your head. Really, like, in any situation, like, if everyone thinks you're great, if everyone's telling you how good you are at something, or how good of a person you are, ultimately that doesn't matter unless you believe it yourself. At the end of the day, if you don't have your own support, it's going to be hard to do anything. Like, you have to view yourself, you have to let yourself view yourself in a positive light before you can accept that anyone else does. I'll pray for something, I'll pray for sanity. I'll pray for something, a show of vanity. Really, the way I see it, to ask anything of a higher power is to highlight your own importance. It's to say, I am worthy of asking for something from a higher power, you know? I deserve it. I am important enough that my request should be granted, which is not a bad thing to believe in your own importance, but it is a vain thing, for better or worse. I'm a bit distracted because you're living in my head rent-free. How many decisions are you going to make for me? I work in a warehouse, and one day I met probably the most bizarre man I've ever met. I was just working, moving boxes and stuff, and I see this dude go by, and I see him walk by what looked to be a family of four. It was a man and a woman and two small children, and he says to them, he goes, "What's up, sexies?" And that seemed very odd to me, but I thought maybe he knows him, maybe it's an inside joke. A couple minutes later, this man comes up to me, and the very first thing he says, no introduction, by the way, he goes, scuba diving or skydiving? And I think about it for a second, and I go, skydiving. And his response to that is, what, did the ocean touch you inappropriately? Which was odd. But for the next hour, this dude, he just keeps coming up to me with these hypothetical would-you-rathers, and for every answer I have, he has a response as to why I picked the wrong answer. One of them being, he asked me, water parks or amusement parks? And I go, amusement parks, and he goes, what, you don't like women? But anyway, the last thing that this guy said to me, we were working, and there was a floor manager nearby, and he looks at me and he goes, see that guy? He's a cup of carrots, and I'm living in his head rent-free. And that was one of the weirdest sentences anyone had ever said to me. So that really stuck in my head, you know, when I was writing this song, I was just kind of humming along to it like, he's a cup of carrots and I'm living in his head rent-free. And that kind of transformed into what the line eventually was. The greatest time to be alive, a generation so deprived, vicariously living through, celebrities are just like you. You know, I find that's a common thing to hear. It's the greatest time to be alive. We have all this technology, all these resources at the tips of our fingers, and really it is. But with that comes the ability to view people who are living a more, I don't want to say fulfilled life, because that is determined by the individual, but a more prosperous life. You know, you see celebrities on the internet who have outrageous things, outrageous places they're living, and you can't help but compare yourself to them and want to have and lead kind of the lives they're leading sometimes. And so that's what this line is in reference to. We're broke, but we're not broken. We're hurt, but we're still hoping. Here's to the ones unnoticed. Here's to the ones still going. I realize this chorus is cheesy, but I really wanted, after all the dark, pessimistic stuff from the previous songs, to kind of end this project on like a positive, uplifting note, you know? I feel like it's good to have that takeaway, and sometimes we just need something like that.